Hello everybody and welcome to the second episode of Out of Isolation. Yesterday you saw me from Williamstown. Today I'm right here in the city, just disembarking from Flinders Street Station, and I'm going to take you around, show you some things, and be outside so you don't have to be. This whole idea of this thing is with this whole coronavirus craziness. A lot of people are working from home, maybe not able to get some fresh air, but guess what? I still give tours. I run a tour business. Our tours run every single day, and so I thought, hey, I'd tune in, let you guys tune in, and check in with us. So anyway, I'm currently walking just underneath Flinders Street Station. Actually, I forgot to show you this. I want to show you something that kind of blows me away about just lack of knowledge that people don't realize are here in Melbourne. So for people who live in Melbourne, they'll come to Flinders Street Station every day. It was the biggest train station in the world, or the busiest train station in the world when it first opened. So every day, people disembark from these platforms, and when they do, they usually will walk over this way. They usually walk to the stairs just behind me, or to the stairs, sorry, I'm just still figuring out my new gimbal, over that way. What people should really realize, though, is that they should take the stairs in the middle. These stairs in the middle, if you are so bold, will actually show you a really cool view of Melbourne that you would not have seen before. So, as we make our way down these stairs, hang a left, what we're gonna do is go through our ticket gates. When we get to our ticket gates, we'll be able to see some amazing hidden away cafes that I want to show you right now. First, I have to figure out how to get my Mikey out. You guys not living in Melbourne, a Mikey is a transport card that we all use here. Didn't really think about this when I was broadcasting. There we go. That's a Mikey card. Hey, Elliot, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Anyone else who's watching, please feel free. Please write a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're in Melbourne, tell me what neighborhood. If you're not in Melbourne, tell me where in the world. Ooh, tunnel issues. We'll find out what happens with the connection. But coming over here, we have one of my favorite little hidden away cafes in Melbourne. Place just behind me has amazing coffees, and so it definitely pays off to come down here.
Oh shit, I'm out.
Hey, there it is. Best coffee in Melbourne.
Second best in the arcade though, get ready.
For you guys who don't know, Melbourne has more cafes per capita than anywhere in the world, and so one of the things that we love to argue about here is whether or not, or who has the best coffee, really. I'm American, but I live here now permanently. And the thing I've learned about Americans, especially Americans, have this desire to have the best whatever. And so they're always asking me, what's the best coffee? So this doesn't really translate over here to Melburnians, because we'll go for 2 or 3 coffees a day, but that one down there is quality. So anyway, a lot of public works going on right now. We've got the big transit project, the Metro Tunnel, our big dig happening behind me. And ooh, delivery happening. Look at this, production value. Is it back in? I should go in first, actually. Whew. Technical difficulties, stand by. Come on, camera. Work for me, not against me. There we go. Okay, I think I'm back. So, this is the Grave Street. The Grave Street is one of the better known kind of laneways to come and explore. You've got some really good shops around here you can check out. Right behind me, actually, is Clementine's. Oh gosh, I forgot the name of the coffee shop, Kath. I'll have to go back to you. I'm going to find out in just a second. I'm going to be at another cafe. But it doesn't really have a prominent name like a lot of cafes. Behind me is Clementine's. If anyone ever is looking for like a souvenir to get around Melbourne, that place is owned by a woman named Mel, who's lovely, and they do all gear from Victoria. So you get honey from Victoria and handmade crafts. All the time when I have people on my tours coming through, they say, where can I get a souvenir? I always point out that place. This is a lot of just pretty junk shops that do stuff made in China, like stuffed kangaroos and stuff that's not really Melburnian. So I always encourage people to go there. In the meantime, right now I'm still walking through the Grave Street. We've got all these great little cafe scenes behind me, and look, people are still coming out. and eating, not social distancing. They're less than 1.5 meters apart. But the fact of the matter is, people, I think, need to get some fresh air. People need to work, especially in the service industry. And so I've been having some chats with a lot of my colleagues who work in hospitality. And if it is safe for you to do so, or if you do feel comfortable coming out, we would certainly appreciate you coming and seeing some of the city. Ooh, before I cross here, let me show you something. Look right behind me there. There's a sign, see it's just right there, Center Place. Center Place is, I shouldn't have favorites, I'm a tour guide, I should be unbiased, but it's my favorite. My favorite laneway in Melbourne. It just looks really cool. Whenever you watch TV shows or movies that are broadcasting from Melbourne, they're almost always broadcasting from right here. Right over here, my favorite place to go for dumplings. See that pink sign behind me? You can't really tell it's pink, but that shop there is called Shandong Mama. Shandong is a region of China. Mama is the one who makes the dumplings. And they do these like great contemporary dumplings. They'll have like an Aussie lamb dumpling, for example, which is quite good. I like it a lot. I also really like this place. This is the soup place. The soup place sells, can anyone guess? Soup, delicious soup. But the thing that I really like about this place in particular is that they also have a pay it forward program, a social enterprise. So if you have a look at the sign right over there, it says pay it forward $3.50 to feed the homeless. You can buy a soup for $7, but if you pay $3.50, that means that they will buy a soup for the homeless. You notice there's all those post-its just on the wall right over there, and those post-it notes are there because when you pay $3.50, they give you a post-it note. You can use that post-it note then to pay. That's why, see that jar is there? There's a jar right there. And so when you pay with a post-it note, you put it in there. And someone who's sleeping rough that night will be able to have a nice hot meal. So it's a really good business to support. In the meantime, here is my favorite cafe in Center Place. We've got Jungle Juice just over here. This is actually one of the original cafes in Melbourne. It's a great place to be, especially if you ever are walking down Center Place and you see those two booths open. It's like mandatory that you stop there. I actually just had a coffee here a moment ago because it's just one of the greatest people watching spots in Melbourne. You can just squeeze 4 people into those booths during, oh boy, my gimbal's not cooperating. 1 second. There we go. Back to normal. Maybe. So, the booths back there are amazing places to come and grab a coffee or a bite to eat. One of my other favorite things about this place is that, let's see if I can get this to work, the menus are actually children's books. So it looks like a children's book, then you open it up, and that's the breakfast bagels. Hey, look at this! Owner, right behind me, Marcus.
We're still open.
Still open?
We're still trading, yeah.
Yep.
So, we're a little bit quieter than normal, but
So
if
story.
anyone's in the city, come by and we'll make you a bagel for sure.
Absolutely. It's, the story with Marcus is he's the original proprietor who had a cafe in this laneway. When he opened across the street, where it's now a sandwich shop, was a Korean bookshop?
No, it was a Polish bookshop.
Polish bookshop.
Yeah, and we had a ballet clothing store, we had coin and hobby shops, florists, barbers, so it was very eclectic.
Yeah. And if you're ever in here, he doesn't like to brag about this, but just over on the wall, just over that way, is a little poster of him getting a Lord Mayor's commendation.
Thank you,
pretty
John.
cool. See you later,
I'm
Marcus.
blushing now. Have fun.
Yes, thanks a lot. See ya. So anyway, that place is called Jungle Juice. Really encourage you guys to come back and check that place out. Let's see, which way should I go here? Yeah, let's go this way. So one of my favorite things about Melbourne is it's just like, it's crazy eclectic. It's got a different thing around every corner. So if you look behind me, it's pretty grunge, right? Like there's some street art behind me. Some people just call it graffiti because it's just tags on there. Over here is like more art, but then also just like rubbish bins over there. We have, what's her name? The teenage girl who's the environmentalist who spoke in front of the Senate. Someone comments, I forgot the name. Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg is behind me. That went up, I don't know, a month ago, and it's since been taken down. But anyway, the thing that kind of amazes me about this laneway is that it doesn't look like all that much. It's got great cafes and things, but all you have to do is walk up this little half flight of stairs that I'm walking up right now. And when you do, and you go through this doorway, you're just completely transformed. Thank you! Kath Lauren win the prize, Greta Thunberg. So when you come through here, you are in just this absolutely stunning shopping center. Not even shopping center is not the right word for it. Let's have a look. Just, hold on a sec. Check this out. So this is just a little shopping area. They've got some shoe shops and beauty shops and all that stuff. So there are places that are still open here in Melbourne. Yeah. And you can come and do a little bit of a shop over here. The reason this building is so beautiful, a little bit of history fact for you, is that Melbourne is actually one of the first, well, it was initially the capital of the Australia. Arcade, that's not really an arcade, Gabby. Arcade is officially a covered walkway. It's a repurposed bank, is what this is. So just to show you, like if you look behind me this way, the doors, see these doors? You know, they have this big, massive, I don't know if that's brass or copper going over there, but this is the original National Australian Bank, or NAB, which everyone in Australia knows the name of this bank. When Australia became a country in 1901, we couldn't agree on just where the capital should be. Sydney thought the capital should be in Sydney, Melbourne thought the capital should be in Melbourne, and so they agreed to go halfway in between, in Canberra. Canberra is a purpose-built capital, took 26 years to build, and so for 26 years, businesses were in limbo, didn't know where to move, and so all the banks in Australia opened right here in Melbourne. It's one of the things that makes Melbourne's architecture so amazing, is that money was pouring in here, and then later, these places moved. And so as I pass these big bank doors right here, look at the thickness of these things, just like, right there. As I pass these by, let's see if I can get an angle. And this is one of those things you never do when you're just not in Melbourne or anywhere really, so you never look up. So let's see if I can see this, and if I try not to get hit by a car. How am I gonna get this? Let's go like... Alright, this is gonna be some things for me to learn about how to use this. I've got this one of these devices that makes filming a lot smoother. Anyway, I'm looking up at the facade. It's just up above me. It says the National Bank of Australia Limited. Actually, of Australasia. If you guys just joining in, my name is John. I'm with Walks 101. We are Melbourne's biggest, best reviewed walking tour company. And we're just trying to figure out what to do in this new environment, this new world. And so what this is me just trying to go outside so you guys don't have to. I'm going to be doing this every single day, so feel free to tune in. I'm not done yet though, I've got more to show you. We're now walking down Collins Street, and Collins Street, actually this side of Collins Street is known as the Paris end of Collins Street because it's the big fancy area. It's supposed to remind people of Paris. I like to think of Melbourne as a city that's just desperately trying to impress, trying to be European. It's a city that came into a lot of money very quickly. So Melbourne only started in 1835. Even people who know anything about Australian history will know that Australia, Captain Cook made landfall in Australia in 1770. The first fleet came in 1788, but Melbourne didn't start until 1835. So it's got a pretty distinct history and culture over here. Then in 1851 they found gold, and $15 billion of gold would eventually be discovered during the gold rush. And so what does Melbourne try to do? It tries to show off. Just like when your neighbor wins the lottery or gets a big inheritance, they buy a nice car they put out front. That's Melbourne as well. So even just looking like, this building just behind me, where I'm going to use my umbrella to point there, that facade. Can't make it out too well here, but next, if anyone's in Melbourne, you can just see it's a mosaic. It's a beautiful Art Deco mosaic. That's just completely unnecessary. It's not needed, but that's what Melbourne is all about. Just some pretty stunning architecture around here. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually heading for my tour, even though this little web series I'm doing every day now is just to kind of keep me busy while all of us are figuring out our new lives. I'm still running tours. We actually got 2 tours running this morning. I've got, I think I'm giving the complete walking tour, and then Hugo will be there giving the free walking tour. I think so. We'll find out in a second anyway. So, if I can, I'm gonna hop on the tram and make our way over. It's only a couple stops, won't be too long at all, but especially for you guys who are watching not from Melbourne, I want to show you what our tram system is like. One of the best things about being in Melbourne is this right here. Right. Melbourne's free tram zone. Look at that green shaded section behind me. All of that is free to ride on. So even though I use my Mikey card when I hop off the train before, that was only because I was on a suburban tram. Now that I'm in the free tram zone, I don't even have to touch on with my Mikey. So when I get on this tram, which is coming behind me, look at this. It's our newest tram, the E-Class tram we're gonna go on. This is one of the fully accessible trams. It's one of the ones where you can actually get on, even if you're using a wheelchair or a walker, it's fully accessible. See, it's step free. If you look at those doors down below. Let's hop on so we don't miss it. All right, we are mobile. We are now on the Melbourne E-Class tram, making our way through. It's remarkably empty, which I really don't have to tell you guys right now. This, for this time of day, would never be like this. Aiden, you're asking me, wasn't Melbourne the place to go during the gold rush? That's exactly right, Aiden. You've been doing your history studying. During the gold rush is 1851 in Melbourne. But if anyone here follows sports, say like the NFL, then you'll know that the San Francisco football team is the 49ers. Because 1849 was the gold rush in California, San Francisco, California. And then an Englishman was poking around in Australia who'd just been to the gold fields in California and thought, you know what, this kind of looks like California. He looked for gold, he found gold, and that's how the gold rush began. So Melbourne was the place to go for gold from 1851 until, well, 1860s and 70s, the real rush days.
Cover your mouth and nose with a tissue, or cough into your elbow. Put the tissue in the bin when you disembark, and always wash or sanitize your hands afterwards. If you think you may have coronavirus, call the government's coronavirus hotline on 1-800-675-398. Visit www.dhhs.vic.gov.au/coronavirus.
There we have it. My God, what a time to be alive. It is like living in kind of one of those zombie movies now, where government announcements come on about protecting yourself, reporting to the government's view of coronavirus. Anyway, to finish your question, Aiden. The gold rush in Melbourne is the middle of the 1800s to the end of the 1800s. It came to an abrupt halt in 1892 when there was a big stock market crash, and that's kind of the official end of the gold rush. But from 1851, it was all individuals looking for gold, and then it started to transform into corporations looking for gold. It then also moved outside of Victoria, which is the state that Melbourne's in. So anyway, we're continuing to make our way down on the tram right now. I'm going to get up because I'm going to get off the next stop here. As we make our way through, let me see if I can show you out the window, though, some of the beautiful buildings that are over here. So this is just classic Paris end of Collins Street here. We got the Prada we're passing by right now. Another tram. You know, some people are out, some people are here. See that roof there? That roof is designed by the same architectural firm that did the pyramid, Louvre. Fun fact for you.
After the next stop, this tram will continue straight.
All right. Ooh. Let's see here. Door's about to open. There we have it. Off we go. At my stop. Just around the corner from the start point to our tours, guys. Oh, let me tell you about something else I want to show you. So, if you're ever down here, so where I am right now for you guys in Melbourne, the Treasury building is behind me, that's Spring Street, just behind me. Right over here is a great little cafe of Market Lane Coffee. Another good place. It is still open. I'm keeping track because I need a coffee these days. I'm having some late nights, and so it's good to come get some coffee. There's also a good barber I like over here called King's Domain. Barber is just over next door to it. It's good for haircuts. A little bit pricey, a little bit exy, as we say in Australia, but really good banter. And I believe it's one of those places also, if my memory serves, that they give you a beer when you get a haircut. So I appreciate that quite a bit. So just behind me right now is the beautiful Old Treasury Building. The Old Treasury Building is a great example of Gold Rush architecture. So that is another example of Melbourne desperately showing off, building those fancy Lamborghinis of the 1880s. It's one of a few Gold Rush buildings around here as I cross over. The sunnies, channeling my inner Casey Neistat. We need to get a little white out right over there. And where we are now, we're kind of at the edge of the Hoddle grid. Robert Hoddle is the guy who designed Melbourne, and so we call the city grid in the center the Hoddle grid. This street that I'm on right now is Spring Street. I want to give you guys a little bit of a mnemonic that will help you get around the city center. This is especially for you, Aiden. If you ever get lost in the city center, you just never want to cross a street that starts with an S, because that means that you're outside the city center. Our two streets on the east and west are Spring and Spencer streets. S and S. That's on the east and west. But on the north and south, it's Flinders Street on the south and Latrobe Street on the north. That makes a big rectangle. And the next mnemonic device to remember is King William and Queen Elizabeth. Because in order, from west to east, the streets go King Street, William Street, Queen Street, Elizabeth Street. At that point, the only thing you have to remember for the east-west, for the streets that go north-south, is Exhibition Street, Russell Street, and Swanston Street. And you've got all the streets going north and south. Now, how are you going to remember the streets that go east and west? That's a little bit easier because we use the same name again and again and again. So we have Flinders Street and then Flinders Lane, Collins Street and then Street, Burke Street, Little Burke Street, Lonsdale Street, Little Lonsdale Street, Latrobe Street. Just like that. Pretty darn easy city to get around, if you ask me. Just got a little bit of time here, I think, before I need to be at my tour. So I might just check out another building that I love. The Hotel Windsor. The Hotel Windsor is just an absolutely stunning building. Really incredible to come check out. Let me see how I want to get in here. Let's see. I'll see if they're okay with me filming this. They might not be. I haven't asked in advance, so let's find out. Hey guys, how are we going? Oh, considering. I'm just doing a little thing for my tours across the street. I'm just filming the stuff around here just to say, hey, come out, we're still open. Would you mind if I just film like the Windsor, like inside this lobby here, and just say what a cool building it is?
Are we allowed to do just that? See, I'm representing, of course, the hotel.
Yeah, of course, another way. Yeah.
You get permission from the...
Yeah, I'll come back and ask later then. I'll ask.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'm just doing it live right now, so I'm just gonna go continue on. But I'll come back and get some permission in the future and actually have a proper walkthrough. See you later.
Have a good day.
See ya. So they want to get the proper permissions, of course. It's a big corporation, makes sense. But if you have a chance to come back here, really worth your time to explore on the inside. And I think probably that's what I'll do for one of these future episodes. I'll just spend the entire time inside the Windsor Hotel. I know the Narelle, who is one of the sales managers over there, and Ali, who's the concierge, probably needs to do a better job at producing this segment a little bit more. But that building is actually where the Federation documents were negotiated. So some really cool and interesting history that you can learn about over there. Hey Carly, thanks for tuning in. Ryan, I see you. Leah, I see you. Thanks for coming in, guys. Freya and Lauren in. Thank you all for watching. Please do write in where you're watching from. I'd love to know how far and wide we can get these videos. I'm going to be doing these every single day from now on because my tours run at 11 a.m. And so I've got to be here at 11 a.m. anyway. So I'm thinking at about 10 or 10:30, I haven't quite decided yet. That's when I'm going to broadcast every single day. I'm still learning a little bit. I'm pretty interested in this. I used to be a video editor myself, and so video production is a bit of a interest of mine. And so I had one of those. Do you ever have that where you wake up at like 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning and just get really excited about an idea and can't fall asleep again? That was me last night. It was the first kind of positive feeling I'd had in the last week, because I'm sure like a lot of you guys, I am just stressed out, man. And so I woke up last night and just had this feeling of like, this would be really cool to do this sort of series every day. And so I got really into looking for what technology options there are. So you'll be seeing a lot of that soon. Last thing I want to do, I'm going to wrap this up in just a couple minutes, but the last thing I want to do is introduce you to two of my friends. One of my friends is named Adam, and this is him right here. Adam Gordon. Hey Adam. Adam's a writer. This little square here is called Gordon Reserve. Hey, welcome from Ringwood, Rachel. Thank you for tuning in. But Adam's a writer, and so who's done that? That's not cool, guys. Someone leaving rubbish here, right, for Adam to hold. Not nice. I'm gonna move that over this way. By the way, if you're worried about me touching this water well, don't you worry. I have what's called liquid gold right now, which is hand sanitizer in my bag, which I'll be using once this is all finished. So that's Adam Lindsay Gordon. Then I want to introduce you to another friend of mine, just over this way, Brigadier General Gordon? Sergeant Gordon. I'll be immediately corrected as soon as we get over there. But this is called Gordon Reserve because it has two different Gordons in it, famous Gordons from Melbourne. The other statue, which is just over this way, that is Brigadier General Gordon. Ah! Come on, Gibble. You work for me. I don't work for you. Come on. Oh, this is so frustrating. And we're back. Okay. Technological issues. Anyway, it is Major General Royal Engineers who fell at Khartoum on the 26th of January, Australia Day actually, of 1885, so before Australia Day was a thing. And that's him right up there. He is a man who died. Actually, I'm going to break the rules here. I'm going to climb over this little chain, see if I get arrested. I think it'll be okay. But they just have done a polish job on this. They had scaffolding up here just the other day. But this is one of my favorite things about this thing. Look at this. There's a cool little frieze here of him teaching children. I think this is meant to be in Africa because he died in Khartoum, which is in Sudan. Here we go. Gravesend, 1865-71. He sought for little children to feed and clothe and train. China, 1863 and 4. He rescued provinces from anarchy, but would not accept no reward. I love these British, these kind of just like deifying British memorials. Khartoum, 1885. This is his death scene right here. He would not desert those dependent on him while life remained. And then finally, over this way, Sudan, 1874 to 80. He sought to save the lost and bid the oppressed to go free. Pretty heavy stuff, guys, but I love that. It's one of the things when you find a statue in a public park, if you get up close to it, you can often be rewarded. And it's just actually cut grass here because just the other day they had a massive scaffold going all the way over it and had people polishing the statue, making sure Melbourne looked nice. If you want to know where everything is happening right now, it's all happening in terms of our government planning in these buildings behind us. That's the new Treasury building, and that's Daniel Andrews' office, our Premier here in Victoria, who has quite a busy job right now. The whole government, both local, state, and federal, as well as international. World Health Organization is, of course, working overtime. We're working every day here, and so if anyone is in Melbourne and would like to come on one of our tours, the tours do run every day at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock. They meet right here at this fountain, and so if you're trying to find where to go, there's a great view of the Windsor Hotel, actually. There's two towers over there. You got to go to the Windsor Hotel and look across the street. You're going to see that fountain, and then look for us. We'll be here every day at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Very important in these times that you make a reservation in advance. We really want to see bookings in advance because numbers are low enough that if we don't have pre-bookings, we just won't come. However, we have not yet had an 11 o'clock or 3 o'clock departure where people have not showed up. We are still having people come every day. We are introducing some social distancing measures. For example, we're not shaking hands. We're also stopping partway through for a mandatory hand wash, and we're also finishing with a hand wash station as well. So I'd love to see you guys come out here. Myself, Hugo, Kevin, Mark, Juliet, Tilda, I'm going to forget some of my team members now, and they're going to give me grief later, so I'm going to try to get through all of them. Come on, John, Bo, Sarah, Will, all of us are here ready to give you a tour, show you around Melbourne. If you are not in a place where you can come out, you don't live in Melbourne, or you just are isolating right now, then keep on checking back. We're going to be doing these videos on the regular. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and please share this out with your friends. I'd love to have some more views on this and some more feedback about what you want to see here in Melbourne. My name is John. I'm with Walks 101. We are the biggest and best reviewed walking tour company in Melbourne, and we hope to make you love this city as much as we do. Thank you, and good day.